everybody, and welcome back to my channel. I am Jen, and this is Fundy Fridays, and here on my channel I talk about different aspects of Christian fundamentalism, American conservative politics, pop culture, and gay stuff. And I just now realized that me and Michelle are twinning with the bangs situation. I look cute, so that means that Michelle is cute too. Anyway, back to the actual main plot of today's episode. This is just going to be a quick little update on some Duggar stuff. I figured I had enough things. I think I have 3 things to cover, and that's the rule, okay? If I have 3 things, I can do an update video. Today we're going to talk about the latest pretrial hearing in Joseph's case, and we're going to talk about Josh being moved to a different prison, and then we're going to briefly talk about Bill Gothard being in a coma. And then after that, I'm going to tell you all about a new t-shirt that we made, and we'll be out. So, thank you for stopping by on this brief Fundy Fridays Duggar update.
So in case you've forgotten who the Duggars are, maybe you have, I don't know. The Duggars are an American family from Arkansas with 19 children. They are fundamentalist Christian, independent Baptist adjacent, and quiverful, meaning that they believe that God wants them to have as many children as possible to flood the polls with conservative Christian nationalist voters. And I know what you're thinking, the women are allowed to vote? Yeah. As long as it's Republican. For now, at least. And only some of this is an exaggeration. Jim Bob, the patriarch, actually dabbled in Arkansas politics, serving in the Arkansas House of Representatives from 1999 to 2003. It was during this period that we know of, the oldest son Josh was sexually abusing his own family members. And for some reason, Jim Bob thought that he should set his sights on his political career and his TV show instead of dealing with the horrors at home. And now that it's 20 years later, it seems nothing has changed because Jim Bob actually ran for state senate back in 2021 while Josh was on trial for CSAM. The Duggars have been featured in media since the early 2000s, being interviewed for a variety of TV shows and having several short-form documentaries airing on the Learning Channel. Their reality show that would become 19 Kids and Counting officially started airing in 2008. And since then, there has been problematic mission trips, international incidents, side hugs, courtships, and babies galore. There's also been multiple arrests, and I'm not just referring to Jana's child endangerment charge. Of course, I'm talking about Josh Duggar, the oldest Duggar child and the former executive director of the Family Research Council, which is the political arm of Focus on the Family. And before it all came crashing down again, Josh was involved in the Ashley Madison leak, where his email and profile were found amongst other unfaithful marriage partners. And then there came allegations of sexual abuse and violence from adult actress Danica Dillon. People kind of forgot about these incidents because in April of 2021, Josh Duggar was arrested for the possession of CSAM that authorities believe was obtained in 2019. Josh is currently in prison for at least a few more years, and he is being moved around a lot, which is something that we're going to talk about today. A few episodes ago on this very channel, we talked about some of the emails that Josh sent to his friends and family that were obtained through a Freedom of Information Act request. Is actually how the information about him abusing his family members was discovered way back in the day. 19 Kids and Counting, plus their many spin-offs, made the Duggars, and more importantly their lifestyle and political beliefs, seem fun and wholesome while conveniently leaving out all the scary, dangerous, and traumatizing parts. Besides the blanket training and financial exploitation, that is. You can kind of see that on the TV show. The Duggars' relationship to Institute of Basic Life Principles founder Bill Gothard was de-emphasized on the show despite their very obvious and very close ties. Can we talk about how Jim Bob looks exactly like some sort of creepypasta demon? By the way, do you know how hard it was to hunt down this photo? This is a screenshot of a Homeschoolers Anonymous post from Facebook. I could have sworn that there was a picture of Jim Bob and Bill Gothard. I even remember the fucking face that he made. He makes the same face in every photo. And I could not find it on Google Images. I scrolled and scrolled and scrolled until I got to the bottom. I couldn't even find it in my own video. But here it is. Proof. You are not going to have this shit wiped from the internet, Jim Bob. Bill Gothard, of course, is a cult leader and a sexual abuser. I'm not even going to throw an allegedly on that. Let's see his comatose ass try and sue me. And currently, we're just a few months shy from a deposition for a civil lawsuit being brought against Bill Gothard and his organization, IBLP, and all of its affiliate organizations like Alert are being sued by 2 women alleging that the organization and its founder that led to the women being sexually abused by their father and brother during their childhood. That's right, he really pulled a Mitch McConnell to avoid accountability. For immediate official press release, Bill Gothard suffered a heart attack on June 24th and as a result went into a natural coma. He was revived and taken by ambulance to the hospital. As per his wishes, we have been doing every medical, life-saving procedure possible to save his life. Right now, he is alive, and though his kidneys quit functioning, by an absolute miracle, they started to function again, as per a kidney specialist. A former staff member was visiting, and he squeezed their finger. Today, he has been squeezing multiple people's hands at their request. We covet your prayers for his complete restoration, either here if God has more time of ministry for him, or if God takes pleasure in taking his saint home soon. Wow. Either way will be a good outcome for him. Thanks to everyone who has prayed and sent blessings his way. Keep praying. He is alive, but he has not regained consciousness. Bad behavior will not be tolerated here, and we will delete. This is a serious time for family and friends. There are plenty of other forums out there that welcome that kind of stuff.
Gee, I can't imagine anybody having bad behavior in a comment section about Bill Gothard being in a coma. Who would ever do such a thing? Apparently he's hanging in there because evil never dies, although they say it comes in threes, so who knows what's going to happen.
This all brings us to today's episode where we are discussing some updates on the third Duggar arrest in 5 years. And of course, I'm referring to Joseph Duggar, who was arrested in March of this year for child molestation. And his wife Kendra was also arrested shortly after, albeit in a different situation, for child endangerment. Kendra and Joe are going to be going to court together for this other charge, and right now we don't know exactly what went down with the police or the children, and we might not ever find out. If there's a trial, we'll find out some more details. I'm not sure. It's been a long one, even though it's only been a few months, and we have to keep in our mind at the very forefront the privacy and respect for the victim, because if she didn't come forward, Joe might never see justice. So on this channel, we have covered their jail phone calls. We have covered Josh Duggar's emails because that also has been in the news while this is happening, even though they're a few years old. We've also been talking about the reactions from different family members, everybody from Jill and her family to Ginger, who talks about it on the podcast. Not in great detail, but enough to know that this new case has been affecting her because this shit just keeps happening in her family and she gets probably re-traumatized every time. She's trying to have her little Christian influencer life in LA and probably doesn't want to think about this kind of stuff all the time. The systematic abuse that she grew up in, the worship of Bill Gothard, who was also a sexual predator, things being swept under the rug, victim blaming, wisdom booklets, which was also an IBLP thing, has curriculum that literally teaches girls that it's their fault if they get assaulted. So that's for another day. All right, since our last episode, we have some news. Joseph made a court appearance via Zoom and requested that he get unsupervised contact with his children. That was denied. Joseph and Kendra own several real estate properties that they work on to make income, and because the judge didn't want Joseph to even go to some of these properties because it was too close to the victim, he basically was like, tough shit, no, you can't go deal with it, have somebody else do it. Then a few days ago, there was a pretrial hearing where Joseph's lawyer talked to the judge to get some details squared away before the next time we see them.
Judge, I communicated with Mr. Ferreira this week. It's my understanding that the state believes they have received all of the discovery from Arkansas and have provided it to us. I believe my assistant did reach out to Mr. Ferreira's office about scheduling depositions. There are only 5 witnesses listed in the case, one of which, of course, is the juvenile alleged victim. So realistically, we're looking at only 4 witnesses to be deposed, minus any court order allowing a deposition of the alleged victim. So I would kindly ask for a return date, perhaps 2 months. I don't know your.
I think September.
All right, September 15th at 9 o'clock.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
The next hearing is September 15th at 9 a.m., and I will be watching it. And then there is a hearing with Kendra. I don't know if it's also Joe or just her. That one is August 10th. I don't know what that's going to consist of. I am the farthest person from a lawyer. When people are talking about legal things, I try my best, but sometimes it's like, you know, wee music up here. The next thing to talk about is that for some reason, Josh Duggar was moved around a lot the past few weeks.
Not only did he make a pit stop at Joe Exotic's prison,
and currently he has been moved to a prison in Ohio, and Josh and his lawyers complained that now he's not going to get to see his kids as much.
The Bureau of Prisons wields arbitrary authority over prison placement. Inmates have no recourse to challenge. Duggar's attorney, Bo B. Brindley, what a name, said in a statement to Us Weekly on Tuesday, July 14th, "In this instance, Josh did nothing but expose improprieties in the legal mail system at Seagoville during a hearing. As a result, he has been arbitrarily transferred to a facility so far from his family that visits will be almost impossible."
Wasn't Josh earlier this year trying to get his sentence thrown out because something to do with he mailed something at the wrong time, he mailed it late or something?
Joshua Duggar, a former TV personality from 19 Kids and Counting, was in court today trying to overturn his conviction with a new trial. Duggar is serving a federal prison sentence for downloading child abuse material. In 2021, he was found guilty and sentenced to 12 years in prison. He appeared in federal court in Fayetteville virtually from a Texas prison. A lot of the hearing today focused on whether or not Duggar filed his court paperwork by the required deadline. A decision in this case is expected in the coming weeks.
The judge ended up denying Josh's motion to vacate his sentence. I just have to know what Josh was thinking. And for our final story of the day,
Amy Duggar went on to Sarah Fraser's show claiming that she talks to the victim all the time. So
I just gave her hope. I said, this doesn't have to destroy you. It really, truly doesn't. I just tried to offer her encouragement, and I told her that if she ever just needed a safe place to talk, that I'm here. And she just said, thank you so much. And I told her, I said, you speaking out and you being so honest and vulnerable, knowing the backlash and knowing the people that would, turn their backs on you and not believe you and all the things. I was like, you are such a strong person.
I don't know, something about this just really rubs me the wrong way. And I say this understanding the full context. I watched this entire interview and I was also in Shiny Happy People. I know Amy was saying this to try and be an encouragement, as they say in those circles, to this victim. She was trying to be nice, and I'm sure she did have some sort of positive impact. But I just cannot condone or endorse Amy going on to a celebrity podcast to talk about a minor victim of child sexual assault, especially knowing that her proximity to this situation absolutely compromises the privacy and safety of the victim. And if I was a little girl, I certainly wouldn't want to be mentioned in any way, shape, or form on the internet. I wouldn't want people to speculate. It just feels like a violation of privacy. And Amy should know better. And by Amy saying, oh, I have her phone number, what do you think's going to happen? It's really great that you want to support this person, but you should be doing it in private because you are famous. And now this kid's got all this extra heat on them that they really don't need. She also makes some unsubstantiated implications about other Duggar family members potentially being sexually abused themselves. And I just can't get behind this.
I'm not sure how this information got out, but we now know the names of the people who are going to be interviewed for the depositions to get ready for this lawsuit. That makes sense because that's what Joe's lawyer was talking about in the footage earlier. He was saying, we have this amount of people and now we know who they are. I'm not going to say who they are besides maybe the cop who may or may not have been present for the confession phone call, but everybody else I feel like is too much information at this point. Thank you guys for sticking around for my short little video. I hope you enjoyed the break at least. I will see you guys soon. I have a very long list of video ideas that I just have to pour over, and I got a bunch of fun, exciting things coming up. Of course, I will continue to update you on the Joe Duggar case, and if there are any engagements or weddings soon that I cannot confirm or deny from gossip that I heard online, I will definitely report on that if it happens. Anyway, love you guys. Thank you for watching my video. If you want to support us, we have Patreon and YouTube memberships. They do the exact same thing, both tiers. Discord access, Monday night watch parties, merch discount, exclusive videos, all that good stuff. If you don't want to do that, you can just support us emotionally by leaving a nice comment, liking the video, all the good stuff. We have a bunch of new merch, including the brand new Blood Energy collection, which is a reference to the video I just made last week, which I highly recommend you watch. It is one of my favorites that I've ever made, and it is really funny. And at the end, I reveal a fake energy drink that we created called Blood Energy.
Now I have a Blood Energy cup, and you can get these in all of the flavors, okay? Purple Rain, Passion of the Peach, Stigmata Strawberry, and Born Again Virgin Pina Colada. We also have stickers. This is the sticker sheet. I wanted to wait till I had one of these in person before I sold them. It says, get bathed in his blood, 4 new flavors. So here's a sticker of all of the flavors. And I don't have one yet, but I have one in the mail coming soon, and I will wear it next video. That is Jesus Christ advertising this energy drink, so you know it is pure and godly and mission focused.
I hope you had a good 15 minutes. Long enough to have a snack and smoke your vape. See you later, guys. Bye.